Hello, dear ones. I will wholeheartedly agree with you that the veil, the illusion, the matrix is incredibly distracting. It will not let up, right? It just never, ever stops. And it has a way of seducing us. It's very, very seductive. It wants to pull us out there to engage. And it has all these little tricky mechanisms that makes us believe that we have to engage in it. For instance, there is this feeling that we have to know what is going on, or that we have to do something. We have to figure it out. We have to engage with it and make a difference. And I totally get it. That's what my life has been about. Most of it, at least, like everybody else's, because that was the dimension, the that was the reality, even though it's a fake reality. That was the reality we were all born into and programmed to engage in. So it's not so easy. If it was just a matter of, oh, it's just an illusion, okay, I'm done with that, we would all just let it go. But there is something about this veil of illusion or matrix that makes it very, very tricky to let it go. I'll share a little bit about my own experience with that. And I think it is because I was with Joel Goldsmith's teaching for so many years that there was a part of me that was practicing to not engage with the world at that emotional level. So I have a lot of years where I practiced that. I'm not saying it was easy, but I started this probably in the late 80s. And so it's been an ongoing process to just engage minimally. I was definitely not mastering it. And I won't say I'm mastering it now, but I'm a lot better at it than when I started. In the beginning, it was just like impossible, right? I had to put, I think I shared with you little sticky notes up, to be here, to breathe, to be present. Because until we take it on as a practice, we're just rolling around with the mind in the matrix and we have no idea because there isn't that real gap yet where we can see what we're doing. So, because Joel, he talked about that real healing happens when we stop reacting. So I've talked a lot about this, not touching it, not reacting. It is our emotional attachments that keep us going. It's not necessarily the illusion or the image that we see. It's still in here. I know I'm doing this, but it's all happening in here and it's projected out in our own experience. So it's not something that just happened overnight. I'm just drawing a blank. That's interesting. That's never happened before. Let me just take a moment. Yeah. So because I learned to not touch it, it feels like that built a stronger foundation inside to focus here instead of here. And in that, I have been able to see how these underlying beliefs, like I just mentioned, I have to do something and I have to figure this out, but also the ones that are even more tricky, that I'm not good enough, that there's something wrong with me, that I'm not lovable. Those are the ones that will drive us out into the matrix and try to get the opposite of that, right? To feel that we well, that we are loved, that we do matter, and that there is actually nothing wrong with us. Now, that is the truth of who we are. There is nothing wrong with us. What is wrong is that we are engaging in a belief that there's something wrong with us. So that's why it's learning to unhook from these inner drives, these emotional attachments, so we can start being free and experience more freedom. And there is something about this veil of illusion. And remember, an illusion, you can't project an illusion out. An illusion is something that's happening in our own mind, in between our two ears. So that is where it has to be dismantled, if I can use that word here. It's not something we go out there and fight. If we go out and fight an illusion in the world, we are engaging with an illusion, thinking we are disengaging from it, but it's still very much part of the illusion, even though your mind will tell you you're doing good now, right? But you're not. If you want to be free, I mean, if you want to engage in it, you're probably doing great. But if you want to be free, that's not the way. And that's why the illusion, the veil needs you and I to remain alive, to remain believable, because it's a belief, right? It's a belief. It's because we believe it's true. And these beliefs with attached emotions, they go so deep. Again, if it was just a belief, we could just see like, that's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense that there's something wrong with me. That's just a suggestion, an hypnotic suggestion, as Joel would say. And you just let it go, right? I have used it in the past when I taught meditation at UCSC. This is some years ago before the lockdowns. I would use the metaphor of, when we're disengaging from the mind, like if somebody tells you you are a squirrel, what are you going to do? I go, oh my God, I'm a squirrel and I don't want to be a squirrel. I have to go out there and de-squirrel myself. It's like, no, we don't do that. We just go like, whatever, right? It doesn't even land in you because it doesn't have an emotional attachment. But if we say it in a way that it is degrading of us and undermining, belittling us, if it would be something like, oh my God, you look like a stupid squirrel or something like that, you see, and then there is an emotion attached to it. And that is the one that grabs us and makes us either contract more and, become depressed, or it makes us angry and we want to fight it. That is the juice that feeds the matrix or the veil of illusion. And it needs that from us. If all of us stopped feeding the matrix, the veil, it's not going to last very long because it's not being nourished, it's not being fed, doesn't get the energy in order to stay inflated, right? We can also compare it with a balloon where it needs us to keep, blowing air into it to stay inflated and look scary or whatever, or important or whatever it is. And the more we do that, the more scary it looks. And then it grows, and then we feed it more, and it grows more to the point where now, the whole world is so afraid of all the things that are going on in the world, where people are freaking out. And the more people freak out, the more they feed that energy. So it's kind of going the wrong direction, if that makes sense to you. What I talked about, I think it was yesterday. What was it called? Something like, how do you know that God says hello to you? right? That is engaging in something completely different. That's when we go in here and start feeling something that actually feels sweet and good. I know that a longing can feel bittersweet because there's a bitterness in it, like, oh, I don't have it. But that's only because we have not turned towards it. So the more we can disengage and not feed the veil of illusion, the more we can start feeding this place where the divine gives us a kiss, on the inside of our chest, where it knocks on the door, where it's like trying to make connection, getting our attention. And it's very hard to get that we give attention to something that may feel very subtle at first. Because this is not subtle, right? The illusion is not subtle at all. It's just pumping all this fear in, and we go into survival mode. And then when we're in survival mode, we don't have a lot of energy left to just be and listen to the sweetness. That's not how it works. We have to do whatever we need to do to survive. So here it's laid out. Veil of illusion, the longing of the heart. If you feel moved to do this right now, I want to invite you to do this with yourself. Put the veil of illusion, the matrix, in one hand, and then put the divine presence, the longing in your heart, what you really want deeply. Put that in the other hand and just look at them. See, what we're doing here is just making something that is usually going on unconsciously. We're making it conscious. So here's the veil of illusion or the matrix pumping fear in us. Fear, fear, fear. Survival, struggle, strive, competing. That's what's happening over here. And now we can go to the other one. This longing for ease, grace, love, peaceful world, deep connection, deep meaning. You can put in there whatever it is that your beautiful heart is longing for. And then this is going to make it very obvious what the matrix is all about. It invokes all these very heavy-duty, unpleasant emotions in us. And when you just take a look at it right now, what would it be like for you to say, no, no more, no more? And just feel inside what that feels like. Is it okay to say no, no more? Is it safe to kind of divorce yourself from this madness? Because this is a choice, right? We're making it very conscious right now, and there is a choice in that. And then you can look at the other hand and just say, wow, I really long for this beautiful world that I can feel in my heart, because there's something in there that really wants that. So there must be something in me that is pressing, like to let me know what is here. And here there really is a choice, even just this moment, if it's just for this very moment where we're here together. I want to at least kind of give you the opportunity to see that there is a choice. You do not need to choose this anymore. The more of us don't choose this anymore, the less energy we give it, and eventually it's going to just dissolve. And then we have this, that we can make ourselves open, beautiful vessels for. I know it's a crazy question to say, well, which one do you want? Which one do you choose? Because it's obvious, we want this one. And it's because this one is so seductive that it keeps getting our attention. I wanted to share, part of my own process in that, because I have been doing this, like I say, for a long time, but the last year or so, maybe more than the last year, more probably last few years, the part in me inside that didn't want this anymore got stronger and stronger. And this is again, it's like I want this. It's like I don't want that. So it came with an energy to let go of this and follow this instead. And this one is very tricky because it was like, yeah, but if you don't do this, this, and this, you're not going to make any money. You're not going to survive. You're not going to blah, blah, blah. You're going to be sick. You're going to lose the blah, 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 all the negativity. So once you let it go, it becomes much more conscious, right? When we just engage in it, we're not really thinking about it. So we just let that emotional, undercover fear, we just let it run our lives without really choosing it. It's just an unconscious choice over and over. But when it becomes conscious, it's like we have to face it. Now it's like, oh my God, this has been running my whole life. It's like facing Goliath, like from the Bible. And because now I can see it. So in my own process, it was very challenging. Some of these suggestions, these fearful suggestions, they can be so real that it's very, very hard to disengage from them. But what helped me is that I felt so effing done with it. I came to the place where like, okay, well, if that means I lose everything, blah, 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 all the worst case scenarios, it's like, that's fine. I do not care anymore. If I have to end up, on the streets, I do not want this anymore. It was so strong. It was getting stronger and stronger because I was honoring it. So every time I honored this, like, I don't want that, this grew in me. And then it got easier and easier. And I would say to the point, I'm not saying that these suggestions aren't there, but I have very, very little interest or tolerance for them. It's like, I don't want it, then fine, I'll be homeless, I'll be this, I'll be that. I will not engage in you anymore. And I do believe that we have to come to that place to fully let it go. And again, I'm not saying I have fully let go yet. There's layers that we may not know yet. There's probably more coming, but the more I do it, the stronger I feel inside to meet the next attack, the next suggestion. It's like, no, there's like very strong, very powerful. So at some point, we have to get to that. I don't know if it's possible to let go before we feel such a strong resolve inside to let go. Do we need it that strong? I can only tell you that I did. And it just grew in me. There in the beginning, it's like, oh, but there's still a lot of emotion in that. I don't want it, but I'm afraid of it, right? So for me, again, I worked through all that. I had to work through it to the point where I didn't care anymore. Very, very liberating. And of course, I wish that for all of us, because the more of us who do that, the less we feed that veil of illusion. And it's just an illusion. It's like water on the desert. It just evaporates. So that's where we're heading. It's already in process. But can we speed up the process? I don't know. We can probably speed it up for ourselves by choosing deeply what you want and then deeply commit to that. And the deeper the commitment is, the deeper the power and confidence is in saying no to what we don't want anymore. Okay, that was my little story for today. I hope that's helpful. You're always welcome to comment below, like my videos if you like them. Please share them with friends. This is how we can spread this. Personally, I think this is important to spread. I think everybody could really benefit from making this a daily practice to liberate ourselves. So if you feel that too, then please share. You can share with your friends, you can share it on any social media. One way to just bring it out more so more people see it, and then the more people who see it, the algorithm on YouTube, they'll probably make it even more available for more people. So let's do this. Let's do our best. All right. Have a great day.